Hello spooklets, welcome back to the channel. In tonight's video, you've seen the thumbnail and the title. We're going to look at some of the most haunted places in the world, and then I'll just be upset that I probably will never get to visit a lot of them or any of them. No, I will make it a mission. I will get to these places one day, okay? But I'm excited as always. I mean, this is what this channel's all about. I don't recognise you. You're new. Subscribe for the spooky shit. Monday's investigations, that is the floorboards, not my ass. Monday's investigations, every night, no, every week, every Monday. I am making no sense. Let me start again. Every Monday, 7 PM UK time, is an investigation that goes up on the channel. And every Thursday, it could be anything. Why am I holding my phone away? Because for some reason, it interferes with the microphone. But yeah, subscribe. You done? Good, I'll carry on. Also, a massive thank you to the channel members. You guys are legends. You guys are absolute legends. So, we are at a website, called hauntedrooms.co.uk. And this is the 22 most haunted places in the world. I'm excited, I'm not going to lie. So, number 1, Eastern State Penitentiary. I do this in every video. Pennsylvania, United States. So built in 1829, Eastern State Penitentiary is a former prison in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's known for being the very first prison of its kind to introduce solitary confinement, or what they used to call the Pennsylvania system. Prisoners were sent to solitary during this time as a form of rehabilitation. They would be completely isolated, living alone, eating alone, and even exercising alone in their yards. Whenever an inmate left his cell, a black hood would be placed over his head to assure he remained in confinement. Due to the Eastern States' harsh approach, many prisoners were driven to insanity, and as a result, the Pennsylvania system was scrapped in 1913. From then until 1970, it was used as a regular prison and held the likes of Al Capone and the bank robber Willie Sutton. Willie. So immature! Reports of the paranormal have been going on since the 1940s, but ever since the stone prison was abandoned in 1971, paranormal experiences have seemingly increased. Reports include shadowy figures that seem to quickly turn away when approached, a dark figure that is occasionally seen in the guard tower, an evil cackling is heard coming from cell block 12, shadowy figures have been seen sliding down walls in cell block 6, ghostly faces have been witnessed in cell block 4, and strange sounds such as disembodied footsteps, distant talking and banging of cell doors have also been heard. Sounds quite active, not gonna lie. When am I going? Babe, book a flight. Okay, number 2, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Kentucky, United States. A location with a formidable reputation, ghost hunters from across the globe flock to Waverly Hills every year. I would like to go here. Waverly Hills was originally a 2-story wooden building that was opened in 1910. However, the building you see today was constructed in 1926. It served as a tuberculosis hospital throughout the early to mid-20th century, when the disease was at its worst. It is believed that as many as 63,000 patients died there. That is crazy. The death toll and the supposed mistreatment and questionable experimental procedures on patients are all recipes that may be behind one of the most haunted buildings in the whole of the US. The Waverly Hills Sanatorium was built quite a reputation over the years as more and more people are allowed to investigate the premises. This has thrown up some incredible evidence over the years. It is featured on shows such as Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and our very own Most Haunted. Taps captured a figure on their thermal imaging camera that seemed to be walking across the hall. The figure was about 3 foot tall, and they later found out that the ghost of a young boy named Tim had been spotted there before. There are vast amounts of varying reports, including full-bodied apparitions. A level 35! I need to go to Waverly Hills to get my level 35. Screams from empty rooms, footsteps, sudden cold spots, and disembodied voices, among many others. Now, I am a person that Okay, these stories and reports sound really exciting, but I need to experience it myself to believe it. Does that make sense? I'm not a skeptic at all. Obviously, I run a paranormal channel, but I need to go see it for myself, okay? To get that level 35 apparition. If you've watched my videos before, you know what a level 35 apparition is, alright? You know. Okay, number 3, the Monte Christo Homestead, New South Wales, Australia. I got excited there. I thought it meant South Wales in like England. UK. The Monte Christo Homestead, Australia's most haunted location. The historic Monte Christo Homestead in Junee, New South Wales is regarded as the most haunted location in Australia. Its reputation stems from several tragic events that have occurred there since it was built in 1885. From its construction up to 1948, the Crawley family owned and resided in the property. During this time, the family witnessed many deaths, including the tragic death of a young child who was dropped down the stairs. A maid to the family is believed to have fallen from the balcony, and a stable boy burned to death on the property. A mentally ill man named Harold, the son of a caretaker, was chained up in the caretaker's cottage for 40 years. He was found curled up next to the body of his dead mother and sent to a mental institute where he died shortly after. 40 years and he was still alive. The tragedy doesn't end with the Crawleys. After the house was left in 1948, it was taken over by a group of caretakers, one of whom was murdered in the caretaker's cottage. That's really sad. I think I've heard of this place as well. We've probably heard of a lot of these, but I've just not known the ghost stories. I've just seen investigations done there. I think that's all it is, really. Okay, Castle of Good Hope, Cape Town, South Africa, number 4. Don't think I've heard of this one. View of the bastion fort castle of Good Hope under a cloudy sky in Cape Town, South Africa. I am not farting, it is the floorboards, alright? The Castle of Good Hope in Cape Town, South Africa was built in the 17th century by the Dutch East India Company. It's the country's oldest colonial building, originally serving as a replenishment station for ships passing the treacherous waters of the Cape. The first reported paranormal occurrence was when the apparition of a tall gentleman was seen in 1915 on one of the castle's ramparts. The man wasn't seen again until 1947, when he was seen regularly over 2 weeks. He would be seen jumping off the side of one of the castle walls and walking between the bastions Leerdam and Orange. Sorry, that's made me laugh because my nephew used to say orange instead of orange. So, one of the most popular stories associated with the castle involves the former governor, Pieter Gisbert van Noot. Wow. He died on 23rd of April 1728, the same day he had sentenced 7 soldiers to death after they were caught attempting to desert the military. It's believed one of the soldiers placed a curse on him and demanded he come to watch the execution, which he didn't. Later that day, Van Noot was found dead, slumped over his desk with a look of terror on his face. Another famous haunting is the Lady in Grey. She has been witnessed running through the castle holding her face and crying hysterically. However, since the woman's body was found during recent excavations, her ghost hasn't been reported. They say that, don't they? Like, they come for unfinished business. Maybe hers was somebody find my body. Do you know what I mean? To say that she's not been seen since as well. That's pretty cool. Sometime in the 1700s, a soldier was found hanging from the bell rope in the bell tower, which overlooks the entrance to the castle. After his death, the bell tower was sealed off. However, the bell has been known to strike off its own accord to this day. There's also the ghost of a black dog who has been known to pounce on unsuspecting visitors, then vanish into thin air. How creepy would that be? Like, here boy, and then it's just gone. No, that's creepy. Okay, number 5, the Tower of London, England! With a history of torture and execution going back over 900 years, the Tower of London is regarded by many as one of the most haunted places in the UK. It was originally built in 1078 by William the Conqueror and has served a significant role in the history of England ever since. There have been many reports of the paranormal at the Tower of London over the years. The most famous of all the ghosts that live within its walls is Anne Boleyn's ghost, the wife of King Henry VIII. She was beheaded in 1536 and her headless body has been seen walking the tower's corridors and often near the spot of her demise. Other full-bodied apparitions have also been seen, including including Lady Jane Grey, spotted by a guardsman in 1957. In the White Tower, the White Lady has been seen often standing at the window where she once stood, waving to her children on the other side of the building. Perhaps the most spine-chilling of all reports includes the mysterious appearance of two children. They have been witnessed throughout the rooms of the castle. They're often seen in their nightgowns, holding hands and with a look of terror on their faces. The Shining comes to mind. It is believed these are two former princes who were sent to the tower after they were deemed illegitimate by Parliament. They vanished one day, and it was assumed that they were murdered by order of their uncle, the Duke of Gloucester. Two small skeletons were exhumed beneath a staircase in the White Tower. That's really sad. Okay, so the Ancient Ramin, Gloucestershire, England, another one that I've heard about. Built in 1145, the Ancient Ramin is believed to be the most haunted house in the entire British Isles, and perhaps the most haunted house in the world. The tales of child sacrifices, devil worship, and evil spirits are behind the terrifying happenings in this building. The inn was built on the intersection of two ley lines, which many people believe is a conductor for spiritual activity. In addition, an ancient pagan burial ground is said to have resided in the property over 5,000 years ago. During its time as a bed and breakfast, people would often flee in the middle of the night, often seeing full-bodied apparitions in their rooms, the feeling of being touched, pulled, disembodied voices, and just the general sense of evil. The previous owner, now deceased, of the Ramin reported that on his first night in the house in 1968, he felt a presence grab his arm before being dragged out of bed and across the room. John had since found evidence of devil worship and ritual sacrifice. He found two child skeletons underneath the staircase as well as broken daggers. Owners and visitors continue to experience hauntings and attacks to this day. I know you can go there, and now I've read this, I might actually have to try and go myself, because that's I would like to I mean, it's not, if I went and investigated there and nothing happened, I'd be gutted, because I've obviously gone on a night where nothing's going to happen, because some of it can be residual or just bad luck, really, bad luck. But I'd like to go give that one a go. Number 7, Fort George, Citadel, Nova Scotia, Canada. Wow, what a mouthful. The old clock tower at the foot of Citadel Hill, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Am I even saying that right? Labelled as Canada's most haunted historic site, the Halifax Citadel has received hundreds of reports of ghost sightings over the years. Situated at the summit of Citadel Hill in Halifax, Nova Scotia, this star-shaped fort is almost 300 years old, with the original foundations being built in 1749 and reconstructed in 1856. Staff and visitors have reported several apparitions walking the grounds here. One particular visitor witnessed a soldier in uniform walk into one of the rooms in the old prison area and vanish. This is a common theme, with many reports centred around apparitions. Other ghostly figures that have been witnessed include an older man, a woman, a man in a red cloak, and an older lady who has been known to show herself in mirrors. A little girl is said, there's always a child, there is always a child, and they are the creepiest of creepy. A little girl is said to follow the groups taking part in the ghost tours, with group members often experiencing her holding their hands. Other reports include disembodied voices, unexplained bangs and knocks, miscaptured on film, and with the naked eye. The feeling of being watched is a common complaint, as is the sudden feeling of nausea, sudden gusts of wind in closed off rooms, furniture moving, doors banging, and on occasion people have been pushed by an unseen force. Okay, Banff Springs Hotel, Alberta, Canada. That looks nice. Kind of looks Hogwartsy, I'm not gonna lie. The Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta, Canada was built over 125 years ago by the Canadian Pacific Railway as a luxury stop-off point for train travellers. Don't let its picturesque surroundings fool you though, as it's rumoured to be one of the most haunted in the country. Terrifying reports include sighting a bride who fell down the staircase, breaking her neck after panicking when her dress caught fire. Her apparition has been seen on the stairs and in the ballroom dancing, with many reporting the flames from the back of her dress. The main story that locals tell is that of the family that was murdered in room 873. The door to this room has since been bricked up, but the family that lost their lives in this room are still seen to this day, often in the hallway outside the room. Perhaps the most popular of all the reports in the former bellman is the former bellman Sam McCauley. He served at the hotel during the 60s and 70s and is still seen today. He likes to help guests up to their rooms dressed in his 60s uniform, often turning on lights and opening locked doors. If you try and make conversation or tip Sam, he vanishes. Okay, well, Sam seems nice. Okay, number 9. We're just going to do 9 and 10 and then we're going to call it, and we'll probably do a part 2 another time. But I am finding these very interesting. So number 9, the Chateau. We're just going to call it the Chateau in France because I'm not. That is fancy. That's more Hogwarts vibes. I like that. So originally built in the 11th century as a castle by the Counts of Anjou, the Chateau was rebuilt in 1502 by Charles II, Duke of Brissac, who gave it its name. This noble castle is the tallest in France and it exudes old world charm, but one of its past residents has shocked more than one visitor. A double murder in the 15th century within the castle walls has resulted in one of the more famous ghosts of the chateau, the Green Lady. The current residents, the current Duke of Brissac and his family, have become accustomed to her roaming the rooms, but she has scared many guests. She is often seen in the tower room of the chapel wearing her green dress. What's terrifying, however, is her face. If she looks at you, you'll see that her face has gaping holes where her eyes and nose should be, resembling what a corpse would look like. As well as her sighting, her moans are also often heard throughout the castle in the early hours. I would never get accustomed to seeing that. Never! That's frightening. I mean, that's the thing, like, I would love to see a full-bodied apparition, a level 35, right? Where they interact with you and everything. That's the level 35, right? But what if they look like that? I'm not sticking around. I'm not sticking around. I mean, if they've got no eyes, they can't see you, or nose, I can fart and they won't smell it, but oh no, I never thought of this. Like, oh, I'm out to get this evidence. What if that pops up? Oh heck. Right, last one for today, guys. It's in Sweden. Can't pronounce that. One of the most haunted houses in Sweden is a small Borgnavanet is a small village in, oh my days, northern Sweden. It's a small village in northern Sweden. It's renowned for having one of the most haunted houses in Sweden, the old vicarage, built in 1876. The first ghost ever documented at the vicarage came in 1927. When the chaplain Nils Hedlund resided, he reported many strange happenings, including one particular encounter with something paranormal. He was on his way up to the attic to gather his laundry when he witnessed his laundry being torn down from the line by an unseen force. Rudolf Tangden, a priest who lived at the vicarage during the 1930s, saw an older woman dressed in grey appear in a room. He followed her as she walked away, but she vanished in front of his eyes. In the 1940s, Tangden's successor, Otto Lindgren, and his wife said they had several paranormal experiences, including unexplained sounds and moving objects. On one occasion, a woman staying in the guest room was awoken in the middle of the night to see 3 older women sitting staring at her. She quickly turned on the light and they were still there, however they now appeared blurry. In 1945, the chaplain Eric Lindgren moved into the vicarage and he began a journal recounting many of his own experiences in the house. He reported being thrown out of his chair regularly by an unseen force. The current building is serving as a restaurant/cafe as well as a guest house. If you dare to stay the entire night, you'll receive an overnight stay certificate to prove it. I want a certificate. I'll go stay there. Okay, I want to go to the Ancient Ramin. And there's a couple more places I want to go on there. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to write my little list. Ancient Ramin looks the most likely that I'm going to be visiting because I can't afford to go abroad. But that is something I would like to do in the future. Travel away from... There is so much in Lincolnshire alone. I say I want to go abroad. There's a lot in the UK that I want to visit first. And Scotland, Wales, Ireland, as well as England, where I am. But yeah, there are some places on there that I would like to go visit abroad. Hopefully one day it will happen and I get to do an investigation in these places. But yeah, we will carry this on in a future video and go through the last 12. I think I've done 10, there's 12 more to do, so I will definitely do that. I've really enjoyed reading them. I love to hear history on places, especially when it's an add-on where there's hauntings, and it's, yeah, I do really enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and listened to the history and hauntings on these places, of some of the most haunted places in the world. Anyway, I am going to go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You know I love your company. Thank you again to the channel members. You guys are awesome. You're still sat there. I hope you've hit subscribe. Go on, do it. But yeah, I'm going to go and I will speak to you all in the next video. But until then, sleep tight.